Today I am going to introduce myself. I am Sri Duryodhan, ex-reader in English, com, ex-principal, GPR College Kuntara, District Sambalpur, State Odisha. Today we are going to learn a prose piece called In London in -4, written by Louis Fisher. Introduction of the author. Louis Fisher is an outstanding American writer, columnist, and analyst of world affairs. He occupies a unique place among Gandhiji's admirers in the West. He has closely studied the life and teachings of Mahatma Gandhi in his book, The Life of Mahatma Gandhi. Unit First, Warm Up. Do you know that the second roundtable conference in London is an important landmark in the history of Indian freedom movement? It was held in London from 7th September 1931 to 1st December 1931. Note that In London in -4 forms a chapter in the life of Mahatma Gandhi. In this essay, the author portrays the character of Gandhiji more as a human being than as a politician. Read the following unit of the text and note how the author relates Gandhiji's arrival and stay at London as India's emissary to the second roundtable conference. Text. Gandhi sailed from Bombay on the SS Rajputana at noon on August 29th, 1931, accompanied by his youngest son Devdas, his chief secretary Mahadev Desai, who he called out Boswell, Miss Lad Pyarelal Nayar, and at G.D. Birla, the textile millionaire Pandit Malabhya, and Mrs. Naidu. Gandhi was proceeding as sole delegate of Congress to the second roundtable conference in London. No other delegates were necessary since he spoke for the organization and for a considerable segment of vocal India. That means when Gandhiji went to London, he went by the help of a ship called SS Rajputana from Bombay at noon on August 29th, 1931, accompanied by his youngest son Devdas, his chief secretary Mahadev Desai, who he said out Boswell, Miss Lad Pyarelal Nayar, and at G.D. Birla, the textile millionaire, Pandit Malabhya and Mrs. Naidu. Gandhi was going as a man, an important guest or delegate of Congress to the second roundtable conference in London. There was no necessity on the part of India as Mr. Gandhi was going for the organization and for the considerable segment of vocal India. अर्थात गांधीजी जितेबले भारत वर्षरू लंडन अभिमुखे यात्रा कले एसएस राजपुतना नामक गोटे जहाजरे बॉम्बे ठारू अगस्ट 29, 1931 मसीहा उपरओली आरंभ कले। तांको साथी रे एई महान व्यक्ति माने थिले यथा तांकर सुपुत्र कनिष्ठ बालक देवदास, तांकर मुख्य सेक्रेटरी महादेव देसाई, जहाँ को से कहूले बसवेल ठारू से जीतीगले, कारण बसवेल डायरी लिखिबारे पारंगम थिले। तांको ठारू मध्य एई महादेव देसाई जीतीगले, बळीगले। आ अन्यान्य माने जो माने थिले से माने होचंती मिस सुश्री स्लैड, प्यारीलाल नायर जड़े एसिस्टांट, जीडी बिरला कपड़ा कलखानार कोटिपति मालिक, पंडित मालव्य एंड मिसेस नायडू ए समस्त व्यक्ति मध्य तांको सहित थिले। ए सब व्यक्ति माने गांधीजी सहित द्वितीय गोल टेबल बैठक को गले, जो बैठक लंडन सहर रे अनुष्ठित हेउथला। जेहेतु गांधी मुख्य हिसाब रे लंडन अभिमुखे जाउथले, तेणुकरी अन्यान्य व्यक्ति भारत वर्षरू जीवा आवश्यकता नथिला। In London from September 12th to December 5th, he stayed most of the time at Kingsley Hall, an East Settlement House, as guest of Muriel Leicester, who had visited him in 1926. Mornings he took walks through the nearby slum areas, and man and woman on the way to work would smile at him, and he engaged them in conversation and later came to their homes. Children called him Uncle Gandhi and sidled up to him and held his hand. One mischief-loving youngster called out, "Hey Gandhi, where is your trousers?" The Mahatma had a good laugh. In other words, I mean to say that when Gandhiji went to London, he stayed from September 12th to December 5th at Kingsley Hall and an East Settlement House as chief guest of Muriel Leicester, who operated him in 1926. In the morning every day, Gandhiji went for walk through the nearby slum areas, and all the people on the way to work would smile at him because they were all known to Gandhiji. And later on, Gandhiji visited all of their houses. Small children loved him very much and they called Uncle Gandhi and came to him with a sort of shame and held his hand out of joy and gaiety. Once it so happened that a gunda or a mischief loving youngster called out Gandhi, "Hey Gandhi, where are your trousers? Why haven't you put on trousers? Why you have put on dhoti and a piece of chadar on your shoulder?" Gandhiji did not say anything to that mischief-loving youngster. Rather, he had a good love. It is the greatness of Gandhiji. मोर कहबार अर्थ यही जे जेतेबेले गांधीजी लंडन अभिमुखे यात्रा कले से किंग्सली हॉल नामक एक विराट हॉल बा राज पैलेस रे रहिले से रहिले सेप्टेम्बर 12 ठारू डिसेम्बर 5 पर्यंत एवं जड़े महान व्यक्ति थिले तांकर ना होछि मोरियल लेस्चर तांको घरे रहिले अतिथि भाव रे जो व्यक्ति तांको 1926 मसीह दर्शन करथिले एवं तांकर एपेंडिसाइटिस ऑपरेशन तुलाइथिले प्रत्येक दिन सकाळे जेतेबेले गांधीजी पाखरे थिबा झोपड़ी पट्टी बा कुड़िया घर गुड़िक को बुली जाउथिले से समय प्रत्येक व्यक्ति पुरुष हो ना स्त्री हो तांको सम्मान करुथिले नमस्कार करुथिले छोट छोट बालक बालिका माने गांधीजी को काका बोली कहूथिले अंकल बोली कहूथिले एवं लज्जारे से पाखको आसुथिले एवं तांकर हाथ आनंद रे धरुथिले थरे एपरी हैला जे जने दुष्ट व्यक्ति तांको कहिला हे गांधीजी तुमर पायजामा कहीं तुम तो केवल गोटे मात्र धोती एवं गोटे चदर घोड़े होइछ गांधीजी उत्तर रे किछि कहले नाही बरं से मुरुकी हसिदेले यूनिट सेकंड warm up. Do you know Gandhiji was humble in dress and simple in manners? Read the following unit of the text and note how Gandhiji was simple in his dress and had a unique approach to his goal of complete freedom for India. Text. He was a wonderful newspaper copy and journalists buzzed around him incessantly. One reporter questioned Gandhi about his dress. You people, he replied, were +4s. Mine are -4s. When he was invited to tea in Buckingham Palace with King George V and Queen Mary. All England was agog over what he would wear. He wore the usual loin cloth, sandal, a shawl, and his dangling dollar watch. Subsequently, someone asked Gandhi whether he had enough on. The king, he replied, had enough for both of us. That means, I mean to say that at that time, Gandhiji was a wonderful and marvelous newspaper copy, and all journalists surrounded him continuously. One reporter asked Gandhiji about his dress. In reply to it, Gandhiji said, "You people wear plus force, but mine are minus force." And when King George V and his wife Queen Mary invited him to the great Buckingham Palace, all the people of England were anxious to watch what he would wear in the Buckingham Palace. But it is a matter of strange that Gandhiji wore a simple loincloth, sandals, a pair of sandals, a piece of shawl, and his hanging dollar watch, round watch, from his waist. Later on, someone asked Gandhiji whether he had enough on. In reply to it, he said, when the King George V was wearing all the robes, royal robes, he had no necessity to wear a gorgeous dress. मोर कहबार अर्थ जे सेतेबेले को गांधीजी गोटे अद्भुत गोटे आश्चर्यजनक न्यूज पेपर नकल थिले। इंग्लैंड समस्त पत्रकार माने तांको चारिपटे घेरी रोउथिले सदा सर्वदा। थरे जणे रिपोर्टर पत्रकार गांधीजी को पचारेगा जे आपण कौन पिंधंती, से कहला जे आपण कौन माइनस फोर पिंधंती, अर्थात सूट बूट कोट सूट पिंधंती नहीं कि टाकू उत्तर दे गांधीजी कहले ना, जेतेबेले राजा जॉर्ज पंचम जॉर्ज एते बड़ मूल्यवान राजकीय ड्रेस पिंधि मोर कौन पिंधार आवश्यकता नहीं। He enjoyed himself everywhere. He had talks with Lord Irwin, wartime Prime Minister David Lloyd George, the Archbishop of Canterbury, Field Marshal Smuts, Judge Bernard Shaw, and scores of others, and went down into the country near reading to pay his respects to Colonel Maddock, who had performed the appendectomy on him in Pune jail. Winston Churchill refused to see him. So, when he went to London, he went everywhere. And he was in good books on the part of all the people of England. He talked to Lord Irwin, wartime Prime Minister David Lloyd George, the Archbishop of Canterbury, Field Marshal Smoot, George Bernard Shaw, and score of others, and went to the countryside near Reading to pay his homage to Colonel Maddock, who operated an operation called appendectomy in Pune jail. Only one man refused to visit him, and he was Winston Churchill, the Chancellor of England. अर्थात जेतबेले गांधीजी लंडन को परिदर्शन करगले से प्रत्येक जगह को दर्शन कले से अनेक विशिष्ट व्यक्ति मान को भेटिले सेमानक मध्यरे थिले लॉर्ड इरविन, प्राइम मिनिस्टर डेविड लॉयल जॉर्ज, कैंटरबरी प्रीस्ट आर्कबिशप, फील्ड मार्शल स्मूट, बर्नार्ड शॉ, and many others. He went near Reading to pay his homage to Colonel Maddock, who performed appendectomy in Pune jail. Winston Churchill only was the last man to visit him. अर्थात से लंडन जिते गले समस्त जगह भ्रमण कले से मध्य थे लॉर्ड इरविन, प्राइम मिनिस्टर डेविड लॉयल जॉर्ज, कैंटरबरी धर्मयाजक, फील्ड मार्शल स्मूट, जॉर्ज बर्नार्ड शॉ एवं अन्यान्य व्यक्ति माने से रीडिंग नामक गोटे गृह को गले सेठारे से कॉर्नेल मैडॉक को सम्मान देले जो व्यक्ति तांकर एपेंडेक्टोमी ऑपरेशन पुणे जेल रे करथिले। केवल गोटे व्यक्ति थिले तांकर नाम होची विंस्टन चर्चिल जे कि तांको दर्शन करबा पई मना कर देथिले। He also addressed innumerable public meetings and spent 2 memorable weekends at Oxford. In this and in the private conversation he tried above all else to explain what he meant by the independence of India. He would cut India off from the empire entirely from the British nation, not at all. If I want India to gain and not to grieve, the empress must go, but I should love to be an equal partner with Britain, sharing her joys and sorrows, and an equal partner with the dominions. But it must be a partnership on equal terms, she was describing precisely and with remarkable precision and status for India assumed in the Commonwealth in 1948. I mean to say that when he went to London, he addressed a number less of public meetings and spent his time at every weekends at Oxford. He also conversed and talked privately when he was visiting. He was always speaking one thing, that was the independence and freedom of India. He always said that India should be free from England. And he always said that the emperorship of England must go and India should share equally with England in every respect, in every aspect. He was always describing shortly and with wonderful and remarkable brief the status-free India assumed in the Commonwealth nation in 1948. मोर कहबार अर्थ जे गांधीजी लंडन रे अनेक गुड़े लोक सहित सभा आयोजन करथिले, जो सभार अनेक लोक सामिल होइथिले। से सदा सर्वदा लोक सहित प्राइवेटली घरोई भाव में कथबार्ता करथिले। आ से गोटे कथा कहूथिले जे भारतवर्ष केमती इंग्लैंड रू मुक्त हेबे सबुदिन सकाशे। से सब कहते जे इंग्लैंड राजत्व आउ चलिब नाही, दिने ना दिने ए राजत्व बंद हब सबुदिन सकाशे। आउ एणुएणिकी उभय सुखरे दुखरे समान भाव में सामिल हेबे, भागीदार हेबे। से सब बेले मुक्त भारतर कथा कहूथिले। He went even further. He saw what many of his followers have not yet discerned. Isolated independence is not the goal he asserted. It is voluntary interdependence. Liberated colonies so treasure their new found independence. They think it is a viable reality. But the law of nature and law of friendship, work, progress and security is creative interdependence. So, when Gandhiji went to London, he always talked about the independence and freedom of India. He used to say one thing, that India must get independence from the iron clutches of England for good. He always talked how both the nation and countries would live independently and how England would not dominate India. Always there will be, he used to say one thing, that there would be love, friendship, work, progress and so security which should be shared by the two countries. मोर कहबार माने जेतेबेले से इंग्लैंड को गले से सदा सर्वदा भारत वर्षर बलिदान भारत वर्षर आंदोलन भारत वर्षर किमती मुक्त हेब इंग्लैंड कबलरू से कथा सब बेले आलोचना करथिले से गोटे कथा कहथिले जे उभय देश किमती एकुटिया भाव रे अन्यत्र भाव रे निर्भरशील हेबे कौन सी देश अन्य देश को शासन करि परिबो नहीं अन्य पक्षरे से सदा सर्वदा केतेक जिनिष उपरे आलोकपात करथिले से जिनिष गुड़ा कहला प्रेम बंधुत्व भल कार्य उन्नति एवं सिक्योरिटी एवं यही जिनिष गुड़िक उभय देश केमती आनंदरे मुक्त भाव उपभोग करें से कथा गुड़ाक सब से आलोचना करुले. Thank you, my dear friends and students. Now I conclude my teaching.